Hey, how's it going?
Hey Dallas, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Well, thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for joining me on Don't Forget to Rock. How's
Absolutely.
everything going?
Good. Everything's good over here. It's been crazy for the past, I guess week. The song came out 1 week ago. How about you? How's everything going over there?
Yeah, it's going well. Just trying to make it through winter.
Where are you located?
I'm in Boston, so it's been pretty cold.
And I see.
I am a major Queen fan, yeah. For
Did you?
probably past 6 years, I've been pretty much obsessed with Queen.
So you definitely saw that Adam Lambert documentary then, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah, as well as the Bohemian Rhapsody movie.
Oh, so I missed that one, but I heard it was good. I loved that documentary though.
I know it's great to see, that the band's legacy is continuing on. Still being respectful to Freddie, but
Couldn't find a better singer than Adam Lambert these days. I mean, he's probably one of the best out there.
exactly. He has charisma, stage presence,
Yeah, and
great vocals.
more than anything, he understands what he's doing, like with the job. He's not trying to be Freddie. He's just trying to, you know, entertain fans and kind of give them what they can no longer get.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, I saw Queen with Adam Lambert a couple of years ago in Boston, and he made it a point to stop during the show and acknowledge the fact that he's not trying to replace Freddie. He knows he could never replace Freddie, but he's
How annoying it must be to get all those comments from people.
yeah, he's like, I'm a fan just like you. I just want to sing these great songs.
So funny that people will comment, like mean things or whatever, not realizing that like the rest of the guys like want him there. Like,
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like if the rest of the band members are cool with him singing, then why are you bashing him?
no, it's like you're bashing the whole band. I don't think you understand. That's
But
funny.
speaking of, your singer, Elvie, has great vocals as well, and I think it's established fact that he almost played with AC/DC, but
Mhm. Yep,
yeah,
yep. We're lucky.
great vocals.
Across him. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, we're lucky to have come across him the way we did.
Yeah, and what stood out to me is that you guys are a six piece, which I feel like these days, if you see a six piece, it's a K-pop band.
Or like one of those jam bands with like 15 people in it. Yeah.
Exactly. No, but you guys, all contribute great to the song Mr. Danger. I love it.
Oh, thanks so much.
So, how do you enjoy playing in a six piece, and how do you feel you kind of contribute to the songs?
It's certainly new for me being in a six piece. I, always wanted to be in a five piece, the classic Guns N' Roses lineup where you have two guitarists, vocals. A front man's really important to me, not like a Metallica lineup, for example, where James plays and sings, and that's just a four piece. But having that front man, I always wanted that to be in a band with another guitar player as well, but it never really ended up working out. I was always the only guitar player in a band, growing up. And finally, we decided like, hey, we're just gonna go. We were really close to just being another, four-piece band for a long time, and we decided, we're gonna go find the right guitar player, and we went through a lot of them before we ended up with Daryl, and we just worked so well together. So I love that. And then the sixth member, the one that rounds it out to a full six piece is our keyboard player, Josh. And I've never been in a band with a keyboard player ever. So it's really, really fun to rely on him to help carry, some of the melodies when I'm not doing as much. And now we have another person who can actually solo in the band, which is really cool to take it from that perspective as well. But six is a lot. We don't have any road experience yet, so we'll see how that goes when we get there. We're really, really new band. We just the most recent member to join was Alvi, and that was in summer 2020, and so 6 months ago. And as soon as he joined, we dove right in the studio and cut all 10 songs for Dirty Damn Tricks, which is coming March 26th. So that's the very first thing we did. As far as contributions, it's pretty equal. We all kind of share the load. So
That's really cool. And so the next single is Sucker Punch, and that title really caught my attention. I have a feeling it's going to be fire. How would you describe it?
have you heard it yet?
I haven't heard it yet, no, but I'm
I'll have to send it to you.
very curious.
But so yeah, the single is finished. It's finished, being mixed and mastered and all that stuff, and it's ready to go. We're actually at the time of this recording, we're shooting the music video tomorrow for it, and
Oh,
that's all going to come out February 26th. Um, So we went Mr. Danger. It was all very strategic. We went with Mr. Danger first because it's the most AC/DC sounding track we have, obviously inspired by them. And we tied that in with Alvy's history with AC/DC. So we kind of figured we could package that, show it to people. And of course, we get some of those comments being like, oh, these guys are just AC/DC wannabes. This is total garbage, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to hit them with Sucker Punch, which sounds nothing like AC/DC, at least to my ears. And it's ripping. It's super fast. It's really aggressive. It's a sucker punch. It's a sonic sucker punch. And actually, the title comes from. This is so funny. I don't think we've ever told this story before, but the title comes from. We went to go see me and my drummer Foz. We went to go see Alvy perform with his Guns N' Roses tribute. And at the end of the show, we were all hanging out and packing up on stage and stuff. And this guy's sitting on the ground, on this, like, I don't know, the front row or whatever. And he's talking to Alvy. They're just talking. It seems friendly. I'm kind of sitting here in the back listening to what's going on. And Alvy reaches down to shake his hand, and the guy just punches Alvy in the face. So Alvy, of course, just goes nuts and tries to dive after him. It ends up this brawl scattered through this whole venue. And finally they get separated. It was really confusing how it happened, but that stuck with me. So I was like, well, we had this other song that became Sucker Punch that was sitting around. It was just an instrumental. It was called something else. And I was like, okay, well, now we're definitely calling it Sucker Punch. So that's where the title for that.
Was he okay after that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was so weird. Like it was friendly. Like it was friendly to the point that Alvy was going in to shake the guy's hand like, hey, thanks for coming out. So that it wasn't like you wouldn't do that if someone was being aggressive or weird, And the guy just came out of nowhere. It's so weird.
That is very bizarre.
Yeah. Still can't make sense of it.
Yeah. I'm glad he was okay.
Yeah, it was very odd. But that's where the title for that song comes from. And we ended up kind of writing it about, us being a young and hungry band ready to make our mark on the world of rock and roll. And that's kind of where that one's going. So it's the perfect logical follow-up to Mr. Danger. And then, of course, the full album with all 10 songs. That's coming March 26th. So
very exciting. And I saw you guys already have like a very cool merch store.
We have a lot of merch up there, so people should go check that out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do some shopping in there.
It's lamaybe.com/store. Easy way to find it. And if you want a free 10% off, all you have to do is sign up for our email list. That's like literally at the bottom of every page. So that's nice. one little perk we give to people that sign up for our email list.
And how do you feel like your own personal musical background influences kind of tie into the band's sound?
That's a tricky one. I would say they're kind of one and the same, honestly. As kind of the chief songwriter of the band, a lot of my upbringing and my sound kind of gets stamped in there, just by default. But of course, everybody brings their own stamp to the songs as they develop over time. But a lot of times they start with a seed or an idea or something from me or maybe one of the other guys in the band. But my personal upbringing for music was, Guns N' Roses was and still is the top for me. That's my number one favorite band. And I heard one of my friend's sisters growing up played Welcome to the Jungle for me. I was probably 11 or 12. And when I heard that, I just a switch flipped and I was like, okay, all right, now I don't know what that is, but I want to do that. So, I started researching and all that stuff and figuring out guitar and asking for guitar for Christmas and all the good stuff, and it just spiraled from there. But yeah, for me, it's definitely Guns N' Roses. But my music tastes are super eclectic. They range across every possible genre you could think of. And a lot of that ends up in our music a little bit. For example, there's elements of hip hop in a song we have called She's Reckless, where the vocals kind of move in a cadence and a rhyme scheme that is reminiscent of hip hop. Of course, you won't, unless you're listening for that, you won't say like, this sounds like hip hop, but there's elements of funk in our playing. We love playing like, Prince and Nile Rodgers style lead guitar, where it's like really right hand centric, really chunky kind of funk sound. We like putting, just all kinds of stuff. We try to bring it all together, but still keep at the core like a rock sound, where when you hear it, you say this is rock. But if you dig in a little deeper, you feel some of these other things kind of sneaking in there. So we're really excited about that too.
No, I'm very stoked. Oh, do you have like a cat?
Oh, is she behind me?
I just saw her walking out the door.
Yeah, that's Alice. She's my rock and roll cat.
Nice. Does she like watch you guys rehearse?
She has been brought up on me recording music since she was born, so she's always around. She's named after Alice in Chains.
Oh, so her name is Alice?
It is, yep.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, going back to Guns N' Roses, yeah, that riff and Welcome to the Jungle, as soon as I heard that song for the first time, I was hooked.
Yeah, and it's still played at like every football game, so it's like,
Exactly, yeah, it's like a timeless classic.
Hypest intros in music.
And Slash still kills it on stage. I saw him recently with Miles Kennedy.
Very nice. Yeah, that would have been how recent?
I want to say that was maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, nice. I saw the well, long story short, I actually work with Duff's brother a lot. Like we do a lot of work together on his musical projects. And through that, I was able to play, a gig with Duff and like meet Duff and hang out and stuff. And through that, he ended up getting us tickets to see them on the Not in This Lifetime tour. It was in August, I think 2017. So a few years ago at this point.
Yeah, maybe it was around that time. I lose track of time.
Yeah,
I know it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it was last year. You're like, wait a second, that was 10 years ago. Yeah, it's like how it happens. It's crazy. But yeah, we had a great time at that show. So yeah, that was awesome.
That's really cool. And so what type of guitar do you normally go with for playing?
As far as brand, I have it right here. This is kind of the main axe.
Oh, very beautiful.
Some Les Paul with some nice Tiger Maple. I have, I think, 24 guitars now, though.
Wow, it's quite the collection.
Yeah, it's mostly for studio stuff. A lot of them will never go out on the road, but I have kind of a core 4 that will, and all of them you're going to see in the music videos we put out, which we actually have 5 music videos planned. So.
Oh wow, that's a lot. Do they all have like storylines and concepts?
The songs themselves or the guitars?
Oh, I'm sorry, the videos.
We're kind of working through that now. So we don't really know, but okay. we're still actually kind of picking some songs. We know we wanted 5 videos because you typically only see, 1 or 2 for a band, but we wanted to just really go big. It's our first album. So we wanted to pull out all the stops, see what we could do.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people are more visual people these days. They love videos and
videos. Photos. Yep. Yeah, photos, even less so than videos. But yeah, text isn't going to do it anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, everyone's always scrolling.
Yeah, I got to catch that attention somehow for sure.
Have you ever played a Music Man Luke or Ernie Ball?
Wow, yeah. I sold it not too long ago just because I had too many. But yeah, I love that guitar. Actually, it's on the album. That Luke is on the album somewhere.
Oh, nice.
Plays one little tiny part of She's Reckless. There we go. Talking about She's Reckless again. But yeah, it plays one little tiny lick in there because I needed the whammy bar.
Yeah.
Why do you?
I've heard good things about Music Man Luke's.
Mm-hmm. There, I mean, Steve Lukather. What more can you say there?
He's right. He's still making music at his age, which is great. Not that I'm calling him old.
Guy has been around the block. Those Toto guys have played on. They were the backing band for Thriller, so like they've everything.
When I learned like what he played on, I'm like, wow, he's been on basically every song from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And his style, just watching him play and his phrasing more than anything else, the notes he chooses when he plays, they always come out of left field. And you're like, I never would have chosen that, but it's perfect. And it's just like, even when he just plays the blues, he's just like, whoa, man, you're on a different like thinking level than I am. So him and John kind of similar that way.
And for some reason, they keep getting snubbed by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but
is that still happening? I don't pay attention so much to that stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are like, it's a joke, anyways. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like just make music, and if you get a reward, cool. If you don't, just keep making music.
Yeah, as long as the public enjoys it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what else should people be on the lookout for? I know you said the album, the videos.
Yeah, so much stuff. The biggest things, of course, February 26th, Sucker Punch single. March 26th, we keep asking, when are you guys going to put out more music? When is an album coming? March 26th, 30 Damn Tricks, 10 songs, all the music you could hope for at this point. We also have those 5 music videos coming, like I was talking about. And, during the pandemic, things have been kind of shut down. A lot of our shows got canceled for 2020. We had a lot of shows booked. This is not so much for the original band, but we had a lot of shows booked that got canceled. So it allowed us to kind of regroup, rethink. We changed lead singers. went in the studio. You know, our band changed. We're not the same band we were a year ago, for sure. We're way different, and that's awesome. We're no longer playing, you know, cover shows. You know, we're not doing any of that stuff. So it allowed us to really get into that, and that's awesome. But there's no end in sight at the moment. So what we decided to do, and this is props to our other guitar player Drizzle for coming up with this. We're going to do a podcast called Your New Favorite Band, where we highlight our new favorite bands from, like, you know, our peers basically, and try to lift up. You know, I see so many people saying like, oh, there's no good music anymore. It's like, dude, you're just not looking, man. Like,
exactly. Yeah, there's so much good music out there.
The problem is you should be looking for it, because these people need you to find them to make it.
Exactly.
You are sitting there throwing your hands up going, it's all love. It's like, come on, man. Like, it's not that hard. Just Google good new rock band or ask a friend or something. You know, there's forums for it. There's websites for it. There's a Facebook group called New Wave of Classic Rock. Go there. You'll find all the bands you need. And but our podcast is our way of kind of playing shows, i.e. staying in front of people on a weekly basis until shows open back up, and we'll keep it going past that, of course. But that's kind of our thinking with that. So we're trying to stay in front of people, and that's going to be launching around the time the album drops, we hope. There's no firm date for that, and we'll keep you posted, but we're trying to launch that around the date of March 26th.
Oh, cool. No, I love that. Whenever I see people commenting, you know, rock is dead, there's no good rock bands, it's like, that's totally untrue. So that's cool that you guys are starting that podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we know a lot of them, so we're going to try to tell other people about it too.
Exactly. Yeah, when I heard all these sing, I was like, wow, it's kind of sounding like another new band, well, newish band, Dirty Honey out of California.
Yeah.
I would love to see you guys go on tour together.
Absolutely. Do you know them? Tell them.
I definitely will. No.
Yeah, we love those guys. They're I had to answer the question for an interview, what are your influences for the band? And I said, well, you know, the easy answer is, you know, of course, all the classic greats, but you probably know that by listening to our music. So I don't need to tell you that. I will tell you our influences more than anything are our peers, our bands like Dirty Honey, Joyous Wolf, South of Eden, Blacktop Mojo, Buck Cherry, all these people that are, and Buck Cherry is a little older than us, but people that are, you know, on our level that we're trying to, you know, we're the next wave. So, you know, it's easy to say, you know, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, but they're already them. We need to bring us collectively, the new wave of classic rock. We need to bring those guys up. And that's what we stay inspired by, because we see, you know, Dirty Honey doing this. We're like, oh, that's great. You know, it's happening. Like Greta Van Fleet, another one, you know, it's really good. When they blew up, I was super excited, you know, for them, but also for the whole genre. Cause I was like, okay, that means there's a demand for this. And this was, you know, when we were still writing our music. So I was like, okay, this is going to work, I think. So
no, I would love to see a festival where it's just new wave of classic rock.
Yeah.
Someone needs to make that happen.
I think within the next decade, something like that might happen, but all these bands need to get bigger, draw more, because at the end of the day, it's about, you know, ticket sales and money. So you can't throw a festival if it's not going to make the money. So you have to have those people that are going to draw. That's why you bring in Iron Maiden or Metallica or whatever, because they're going to bring 300,000 people.
Exactly. But then that will definitely help, you know, those newer bands get the exposure and experience they need.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really interesting seeing what happens to music and rock music in particular, because rock music, if you think about it, is very, very new. There's only, I mean, how many bands could you name for rock bands of the past? Like, it's not even 100 years old. So where does it go from here? You know? So it'll be really interesting to see as some of our heroes start to kind of, you know, not to be crude, but die off because they're going to get older. At some point, it's going to all have to cycle over, and we'll have to see what comes next. So
see who carries the torch.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see, because at some point, I mean, you're always going to be able to go back to those records, but if you want to go see live music, like a lot of these people aren't going to be here anymore just because time has passed. So it will be interesting to see what happens from there. So we expect and hope to be on the forefront of that new wave. And I'm super happy to see the term new wave of classic rock. That really is fitting to me. Because it does have that classic sound, but it is, you know, 2021, so it's not classic.
There's definitely a freshness to it. So
yeah, and blending all of that stuff with modern production techniques, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens on that front.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited to see, what's going to happen, and hoping that it's going to be a strong year for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned a minute ago, 2020 sucked for a lot of people, and it sucked for us in some regards, but we were thrilled with the result. We were thrilled with the downtime to be able to regroup, make changes, come out stronger and better than ever when things open and start opening back up, which, we have one show on the books right now, but other than that, no shows, no bookings that we know of in sight. So, yeah, but when they're there, we'll be there. So
Exactly. Well, Dallas, I really appreciate your time chatting with you. And
absolutely.
like I said, I'm stoked to hear the rest of the album in March, and hopefully see you guys on the road.
Yes, that'd be awesome. We'll try to get up to Boston.
Absolutely.
Maybe in the summer though.
Yeah, definitely. Come in the summer. It's a lot better.